This is Steve Maclin, and you're listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Sealed of Approved Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. It is not Mike this week. I am Tyler, but if you take a look at the screen, and if you're listening on Spotify, you cannot see the screen. So allow me to introduce very good friend of the show, very good friend of mine, the one and only high octane hometown hero, depending where you live. He's a barn burner, and he's got a hell of a mustache right now. Mr. Van Landon. I can't give you the big one because my microphone doesn't pick it up.
That's okay. That's okay. I need you to save it for when it counts. And not that it doesn't count right now. We're here on Count It Out. But you know me. It's me, Van Landon. What's up, everybody? Not Mike today.
Not
It's
Mike.
Van Landon today. What's up, everybody?
That's right. And technically, we're living into your gimmick as well, because as we record this at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's technically Van in the morning. And that's a little fun thing that you're working on right now with our other very good friend, Mr. Holden Albright, Van and Holden in the morning.
Depending on when you're listening to this, it could very well be Van and Tyler in the morning.
That's fair.
But you're absolutely right. Van and Holden in the morning. If you guys have been following me, if you've been following at Holden Pro, Holden Albright that is, or GTA Wire, you've been seeing Van and Holden in the morning coming across your feed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, as well as your podcast feeds. We're back with season 2. We've tried so much stuff. And in fact, this is called season 2, but this is like our third or fourth venture into connecting with you fans in some way, shape, form, or capacity. We used to do it live on Twitch. We used to do it in the morning. We used to do it at night. We used to do it all over the place. But now we got Van and Holden in the morning, 6 a.m. wherever you get your podcasts, 10 a.m. on those Instagram feeds, Facebook feeds, Twitter feeds, TikTok feeds, wherever your feed is, and you can watch along the video. And of course, and I don't mean to plug this so early, but
brother.
Patreon.com/TheVanLandon, Patreon.com/BrendanC. That's where you can get our raw, uncut, unfiltered. And let me just say, we're coming off the tails of a pretty hot one, so
I love it.
That's where you could get it all.
I love it. I love what you guys are doing, man. It's so fun because it's just these quick little podcasts every morning. I usually stockpile a bunch of them. Like I'll wait till because I want more, right? Like I'm getting really into what you guys talk about, and then all I hear is you go goodbye, and I'm like, no, I need some more. And it's fun because you guys don't just talk about wrestling. In fact, most of the times you guys don't talk about wrestling at all. You talk about real life stuff. You guys each kind of pick a topic per show, and like one that I really enjoyed, I listened to recently. I'm a little behind, but it was you guys were talking about what was your video game consoles growing up, right?
Yes.
And I would like to answer this question because I was like yelling at my car radio as I was listening to this driving into work. And for me, not number one, it was original Nintendo.
Let's go.
Had the because I'm old, so I had the original Nintendo, and then that morphed into Sega Genesis for me. So I was a big Sega Genesis guy. Toe Jam and Earl was my game.
Classic.
I don't know if anybody's ever played that one, but it is a great game. Had the N64 as well, but then it was sorry, I had the Super Nintendo, and then I got real heavy N64. You give me any of those wrestling games, man, No Mercy, WrestleMania, Revenge. Oh, buddy, I dust anybody at those. Yeah. Yeah,
They
good.
so good. So
Yeah.
good. And that's what we try to do. We invoke conversation, folks. Just a morning cup of coffee conversation. That's what we're bringing. And you're right.
Absolutely.
We do not like talking about wrestling over there.
Yeah, there's no wrestling at all. I love it, man. It's so fun because you guys both have, and especially Holden. I love his views on life because they're so different. Like I don't, like he makes me think. You know what I mean?
He
And
does. I was complimenting him today about that, saying how he makes me think different.
oh, we can't keep putting him over though. We got to bury him.
Yeah,
Oh,
he sucks. He
he's the
sucks.
worst.
And I'll tell you what, if I ever had to wrestle him, because now that he's back wrestling, if I ever had to wrestle him, I'm telling you, it's on. It's on.
Well, I mean, that could be something that could be happening, but who knows? We're going to talk about a pretty crazy wrestling show that you guys are both going to be on in a little bit. Little cowbell championship wrestling, that is. But before we get to that, going to talk about a little bit what you guys are going to see on this show today. We've got a very great list that we're going to be counting down today. The top 7 matches that have happened at both SummerSlam and WrestleMania in honor of our main event of SummerSlam this year with the rematch from WrestleMania of John Cena and Cody Rhodes. But before we get to that, a little Brucey bonus, if you will.
Oh,
I had the absolute pleasure to sit down very last minute, actually. It all came together very quickly, but I had the pleasure to sit down just days after the biggest show in TNA wrestling history with the current TNA International Champion, Bulletproof Steve Maclin. And I think that I'm going to let you guys listen to that right now. My guest today can be seen on July 24th and 25th when TNA Wrestling rolls into the University of Rhode Island at the Ryan Center. He is former TNA heavyweight champion and current TNA international champion. Of course, I'm talking about Bulletproof Steve Maclin. Steve, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today.
No, thank you for having me on. I'll always love doing this.
Well, I mean, you are the right man for the job. You've been all over Rhode Island lately. You saw yesterday at the soccer club. We're coming off the biggest event in TNA company history. We're going to be live July 24th on Access TV in the United States and right here in Canada on Sportsnet. What's the energy like backstage coming off of Slammiversary as we roll into these 2 big shows?
Obviously, we're on a high from our biggest gate in North America and the company's history of 7,623. And go figure, I've been putting that number in my head. And it's just, I think a lot of people in the office as well have been putting that number in their head because now it's something to beat. TNA since the rebrand and since my time of being here for 4 years now, it's just been this uphill climb. This bubble finally bursted when the TNA rebrand went from Impact to TNA Wrestling, and it just got the world talking about TNA Wrestling again. And now setting a record attendance. Now we have a goal to meet and a goal to beat, and that's just to keep getting better and better each and every time we go out there and all these shows around the country. With Rhode Island this week going live on Access, and then we have Baltimore coming up for Emergence, and then we have Minneapolis, Edmonton, and then BFG just being announced for October 12th in Lowell, Mass. Yeah, it's just a good time for TNA wrestling.
100%. And you mentioned that we will be live this Thursday. We're seeing TNA do more and more impacts live lately. Is this something that you'd like to continue to see moving forward with the company?
It is, yeah. It's just obviously live TV is the goal of any wrestling company. You want to be on live television, network television, to for more eyes on the product means more money coming into the product and talents taken care of, new talent coming in, old talent. Like it just makes business work. And for the locker room that we do have, it's just busting their butt and putting all pieces together, and everybody just kind of come together knowing that we have to go out there and still try to be that underdog. And whether we do get a TV deal soon or not, we're always going to have that mentality, I think. And I think that's what's kept TNA wrestling around for 23 years.
Absolutely, it has been. And the proof's in the pudding. We just saw the largest gate or the largest crowd in TNA history at Slammiversary on the weekend. We got to see you compete in a 6-man tag on the pre-show. What was it like for you personally to walk out and just see all those people out in the crowd representing TNA?
It was a great feeling. It was funny. Ingrid, who's ringside, she's like, "You looking?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is pretty freaking cool." It's just cool to see, just because it's a full circle for me, at least for when I started in TNA wrestling during the COVID era when fans weren't even allowed, and debuting with no fans, and then little bits of fans being let in after the post-COVID era, and then just fast forwarding to now to 7,000 plus is just it's such a just different vibe and different feel, and that energy comes up in us as talent, but also we vibe off of it from the fans, especially our TNA wrestling fan base, which to me is a different fan base just because they're so loyal. And just like we are in the locker room as the underdogs, I feel like our fans are the underdogs as well, and they always bring that energy.
Absolutely. Now, unfortunately, your team was not on the victorious side this evening. Do we still have some unfinished business with you and Enzo and the fourth Root Group, Steve?
That's to my knowledge. I don't know. I know my unfinished business is taking care of business, and that's defending my international title, which is what I set out to do. Obviously, plans changed going into Slammiversary, and some things had to happen. But yeah, for me, it's defending my international title against international talent from around the world. Even in our locker room, we have people from all over the world, across the globe. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I felt there was like a bit of a push online. I think some people were a little disappointed that we didn't get to see you defend that title at Slammiversary. Did you feel that kind of love and momentum from the fans as the show drew near?
I did, yes. It didn't go unnoticed. I get it. But as a champion and as a person who is a leader in the locker room and leader for TNA, at least I like to carry myself that way. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do. You keep your head up and you keep moving forward and you do the best that you can, and you just go with the punches.
Absolutely. And, I think it's safe to say that it was a phenomenal show at Slammiversary. And I use that word phenomenal because we did see the return of
Yes.
AJ Styles. What was that like for you to watch AJ Styles come home to TNA Wrestling?
It was really cool just because I got to chat with him a little bit backstage. My wife was there as well, so they've known each other for years, and to just catch up with him a little bit and had just to see just the smile on his face, and like just to be able to tell him too, I'm like, hey man, like you have no idea, like this is really cool for me to see, for you to do this, just because I never thought it would happen on my own end, and I'm sure he felt that way. It would have never happened again. But here we are 11 years later, and the phenomenal one AJ Styles coming back in, and God, that dream match is possibly there for me. So hopefully, one day down the road, that would be something that could happen, especially being a TNA International Champion.
Yeah, I feel like there's certain names that are being thrown out there that people would love to see AJ get in the ring with. Obviously Leon Slater's one of them with the X
Oh,
Division title, but I
yeah.
think your name is right up there with him. Is that something that's on your radar? It's something you'd like to manifest into the world right now?
I would love to manifest that into the world. Yeah, bulletproof Steve Maclin versus the phenomenal one AJ Styles. To me, that's a main event style caliber match. I would love to have that match. But to go back to Leon, you brought him up. I'm so proud of Leon. What a story for that guy, or well, that kid, I should say, the youngest in history. He's not even a kid. He carries himself, for as young as he carries himself as a grown man, and I'm beyond proud of him and so happy for him to have that moment and to get his flowers that night, because he's just above and beyond his years of where he's at in his career, and just him being the youngest X Division champion in history. I'm very excited to see what he's about to do with this title run.
Absolutely. And there was all kinds of crazy moments at Slammiversary, one of them being AJ Francis falling off the ladder, through all the ladders. What a crazy moment that was as well.
Yeah, he's lucky he's walking around this day. I'm glad he's not physically hurt. I'm glad everybody in that match. Obviously, it's a ladder match with the Hardys, so things are going to kind of go a little crazy. And then you also have the Rascals and the Nemeth in there. So you just a lot of odd heads and odd minds in there that are going to just go above and beyond for those tag titles. And that was cool to watch. I got to watch that live from out side ramp from the crowd. So it was fun to just sit there and kind of see the crowd react to everything. And then even Bubba Ray Dudley coming out at the end to give us that build up now to BFG of that open challenge for that one more match of seeing who's the greatest tag team of all time.
Yeah, that's the one thing I love about you, Steve. You're very open about your fandom. You've always talked about being a big Bret Hart fan in the past. So for you to see the Hardys and Team 3D in the ring again there, or Bubba representing Team 3D, was that a cool moment for you as a wrestling fan just to see all those legends one more time in there?
Yeah, just because you just kind of think of like the movie genres now, like of how they're making movies these days, and they're having those good callbacks, like even in Top Gun with Maverick, and you had the callback with Iceman and Maverick, and they're sitting there, and you have that like heartfelt moment, and you have so much emotion into it, invested into it, if you are a fan of that movie, or even like the Ghostbusters movie that they did, and they got to bring back all just having all those nostalgic moments. And to me, it's like one of those nostalgic moments where you have these four guys that can still go. And they're two of the tag teams that have stood out, even with Edge and Christian. Like those are the three teams that for me as a kid that growing up, like that was my tag team era. And the New Age Outlaws were another one of those where it's just like you have that connection and that feel. So here you have this moment being built in BFG and Bully Ray coming out with the Hardys being there. And there's going to be this big moment in Lowell, Massachusetts on October 12th for BFG now, where it's just a lot of eyes are going to be on that match, not because it's just the two greatest tag teams of all time. It's just a very emotional moment, invested moment that a lot of fans, especially myself, growing up as a fan, get to see that.
Absolutely. Now, we just mentioned a lot of the highlights from Slammiversary, but for the TNA locker room, possibly a little bit of downside as well. We see that NXT star Trick Williams has left as the heavyweight champion, and now we've seen JC Jane has left as the knockouts champion. You being the international champion, does that put more pressure on yourself to represent TNA as a TNA rostered member that's holding that title now? It kind of puts you into that top title position, right?
Yeah, it does. And then you could also say with Leon as well being the X Division champion, and then also the Hardys being tag team champions. We're carrying the workload, and to me, it does put a little bit extra chip on my shoulder, a little bit more weight, but I'm fine with carrying that because I know what I'm willing to do and what hill I'm willing to die on for the company that I work for. And I know a lot of people like to say ex-WWE people coming into TNA make the best of it. Is like I don't see myself as an ex-WWE person. I find myself as a homegrown TNA talent and Bulletproof Steve Maclin. I think the fan base feels that way too. To me, this is my home. It's the place that I love. It's what I carry with me everywhere, and I try to represent the best that I can. So if I'm going to die on that hill for this title, I'm going to do that.
Absolutely. And you've carried that title so proudly as well. You have this very unique position. You're the inaugural champion. So you kind of get to set the pace for what this title is going to be. Do you have a certain vision of where you want to get this title and how fans will look at this title going forward in the future?
I want to be able to defend this title internationally. I've been saying it to the management. I was like, when are you going to get me to Japan? When are you going to get me to Mexico? Where are you going to get me over to the UK? Over, just get me out of the States. Let me defend this international title internationally. Get me to Puerto Rico. Like, just there's so many different opportunities elsewhere to do this, but also to be able to represent TNA, plant that flag everywhere I go of TNA wrestling, no matter where I go, and also let the world know what TNA wrestling is all about. And I think I'm a pretty good example for this company to put out there.
Absolutely, you are. Now, there's one thing that I think that you've really taken to another level lately, and that's your promo work. You've cut some really incredible promos, especially this year specifically. Can you kind of take me through the process of what goes into your promos and the mind frame that you get yourself in when you're cutting these promos?
Nowadays, it's just relaxing more and just kind of I finally came into my own groove and coming into my own of it just took a process of I had my promo skills that I built up and learned from my time in WWE and NXT, and then I brought that to TNA, and then I've started to get my little bit of run in TNA, and then I was like, okay, cool. I just every time I go out there I take it as an opportunity to build on, to build on, to build on and perfect, and to bring up Bully again. Bully Ray, he was one of the first people that came to me that's backstage. That's one of the people that I would trust no matter what, with his just honesty on towards things. He goes, relax, just speak from your heart. And that's kind of where I go now, is just I try to speak from my heart and take what I'm given and just try to make the most of my voice to come out in that and just be as clear as possible.
I think a great example of that is when you were cutting your promo in Full Sail after the TNA tapings were done there. Can you kind of take me back to that night and just all the emotions that you were feeling standing back in that ring where you have so much history in that building?
Yeah, the Full Sail was fun, and it was because I even asked. I was Tommy Dreamer. I asked, I was like, "Hey, is there any way I can get talk to the fans?" Like, I was like, "This means a lot for me, and I think this is a good full circle moment to come back in this building." And for the history I had in NXT there, but now representing TNA wrestling and being a part of TNA. And he said, "Go right ahead." And we got that down. They had the faith in me to go out there and talk, and I got to explain my history of having Tom Hannifan and Matt Raywalt, with who I have so much history from my time in NXT with, and Ray or Hannifan calling my first ever match in NXT when I was live on television against Juice Robinson at the time. And it's just fast forward to all these years later. It's crazy to me that I got to have that moment, and the moments with Wesley Blake as my tag partner, meeting my wife in NXT, and just yeah, there's so many good memories, so many bad memories, but so many lessons as well that I learned in that building just by keeping my mouth shut, my ears and my eyes open, and watching how television works and how it's produced, and listening to the right people and listening to the wrong people, and taking that advice as well.
Absolutely. I know we're coming to the end of our time here, but I'd love to talk to you about a really special moment from the past in your career. That was right
Mhm.
here in my hometown of Toronto, Rebellion 2023. The night ended with both you and your incredible wife, TNA legend Deonna Purrazzo, in the ring, celebrating together, holding all the gold. Can you kind of just try to put into words what that night meant for you?
Oh, it meant a lot just because it was a build that I thought it was going to be me and Josh Alexander. And it was like, obviously that's a letdown, but then like wrestling, the card's subject to change at all times. So you go with it. And then I had an even greater dance partner as well, and Kushida. And to go out there and to both challenge for the TNA world title and to come out victorious in that on a night that was very special to me, that I put a lot of heart and faith into myself and letting the world know of who Bulletproof Steve Maclin is. And I got to show everybody. And I think that's where people's eyes opened really to me of like, okay, God, this guy can actually carry something. He can do something here. And then it's a test to fans having faith in me, but also me having the faith in myself. And then being able to come through the curtain, and my wife is standing there getting ready to go out there, and she's trying not to be emotional to me because she knows how happy I am. But we're just waiting for her to now come back from her match with Jordan, and to just share that night and have a moment together. And it was finally like we're in one of the hallways when we got done and we are getting ready to leave. It was nice and quiet. We both kind of had like a moment of just letting a breath out, both looking at each other without saying anything. And we're just yeah. It was a great night and an awesome moment.
Perfect. Oh, I love that. That's such a great night. One of my favorite moments to witness as well, especially being in my hometown. We mentioned Bound for Glory a couple of times, and we've also
Mhm.
talked about your wrestling fandom. One of my favorite moments of the week of Bound for Glory, it's the TNA Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah.
Now, if Steve Maclin had his choice, who would you like to see go into the Hall of Fame this year at Bound for Glory?
Oof. Out of TNA, there's so many. Yeah. Jerry Lynn. I think Jerry Lynn he was the focal point when the X division started. And granted, you have your AJ Styles, and the AJ even brought it up the other night in his promo, and I was just like, Jerry Lynn had such a impact on impact at the time, the Impact Zone with TNA Wrestling, and the X division was just built around him, and with Frankie Kazarian, AJ, Christopher Daniels, Samoa Joe, Amazing Red, the list goes on and on and on. It's just, I think Jerry Lynn deserves that moment, and for the work that he put into TNA Wrestling back in the day, and even now, I still go back and watch a lot of his stuff just because he's one of the best of all time, and I don't think he's been given the credit for that, for how good he was and how innovative he was for his time. And so that's something I'd like to see in the future.
Absolutely. And just for me to throw a name out there too, a gentleman who actually announced his retirement on our very show was Homicide. I think Homicide would be
Yeah,
another great one this year to go into the TNA Hall of Fame. Him and Jerry Lynn sounds like a pretty good class to me.
yeah.
Well, the
That's
last
it's yeah. Sorry, it's just
no,
TNA. There's so many names in TNA history that haven't been talked about or given their rightful flowers, and everybody knows all they're one of the OG originals. But it's just you get. There's going to come a time where people are going to realize, oh, how good we had it at a certain time and didn't know it.
absolutely. And the last question I'd like to ask you then, because you've been so great with your time here, when you take a look back at your career so far, all of your accomplishments, everything that you've done to get to this moment, do you have any personal moments that you can look back on and they just make you smile to think about?
Um, More personal moments, not even in wrestling ring. I would say just as a human being for where I've gone in life. I posted about my dad's 60th birthday, and my wife and I took him and my mom to dinner at Krishner's in Orlando. Cheap plug there for Krishner's, one of the best steakhouses in Orlando. And it's a meal to me that you're spending a lot of money on a good meal. And if I ever had a dying meal and I was to ask what would you want, I would be like, I'm going to Krishner's for my final meal, and that'd be perfect for me. But it was just enjoyment of seeing my dad eat that, and like I wasn't able to have that kind of growing up. Like my parents busted their butt to allow me to get to where I want to live in my life and live my dream and do what I want to do. So to be able to pay that back just for what I do as a career as a professional wrestler, I think is one of the coolest things in the world. So I would say, like, for me lately, that's been one of my personal favorites.
Awesome. Well, Steve, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. You can catch Steve and the entire TNA roster July 24th, 25th at the Ryan Center, the University of Rhode Island. Congratulations on a successful weekend, and we look forward to seeing what the future holds for you and TNA Wrestling.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. And if you don't follow me at Steve Maclin on X, on Instagram, TNA Shop merch as well for all bulletproof Steve Maclin merchandise.
Perfect, absolutely. And on that note, you guys have been counted out. Well, there you have it. Some very interesting words from Mr. Macklin. Gets a little candid about how he felt about a spot on the card at Slammiversary, seeing AJ Styles back in TNA, his goals for this international title. Man, what a great guy. And I've had some great interactions with Steve Macklin at some wrestling shows around here. We talked about a little bit of football. Him and Deanna are two of the best people you're going to meet. So I was really happy to get the chance to sit down with him. Did you, Mr. Van Landen, have a chance to watch any of the Slammiversary show?
I didn't get to watch it front to start, but I got to check out all the highlights. Shout out TNA Wrestling on YouTube. That's where I catch up with
Hmm.
all the clips.
Yeah, what do you think of what you saw?
Oh, I mean, I'll be honest, I was loving it. Obviously, the AJ Styles return was absolutely phenomenal, pun intended.
Absolutely.
Yeah, seeing Leon Slater get that moment was absolutely huge. The ladder match, insane. That's everything I love about wrestling. And overall, everything that's going on between NXT right now, TNA, the stuff with the women's title, the stuff with the men's title. I think all of this and even the big sort of multi-man match with the system
Yeah,
taking
yeah.
on. I think everything that's going on with this partnership is just insane. It's
Hmm.
everything that we could want it to be. It's a modern take of a modern invasion, of a modern takeover, and we've never gotten to see anything like this proper. We've always dreamt of it. We've never gotten it proper. So as this is playing out, I'm thinking it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I think there's definitely been a lot of pros. I think there's been a little bit of things I'm concerned about as well, which I want to get into in a moment here. But it's like I like the way they're doing it because it's not like a we're taking over your company type of invasion. It's just kind of like two companies that are just like we're better than you. No, we're better than you, and let's see who's better. Now, I do have a concern though, and I'm not one of these the internet fans that are crying and whining that. Ooh, all the TNA champions are NXT guys, blah, 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 blah. Like, I understand what storytelling is. I get it. But I am a little bit concerned that TNA is coming up on the losing side a little bit too much. And I think that for the way that they've been telling this story, I would like it to be a little bit more equal in
Okay.
the back and forth. I get like I just think back to like when the NWO was rolling in WCW. They killed WCW every week to the point where like nobody believed that WCW could ever win. And if you take a look at all the big marquee matches that have happened so far with NXT and TNA, NXT has won pretty much every single one of them. And that's dating back to even last year when Joe Henry was challenging for the NXT title. And you know what I mean? Like his showing in the Rumble, his showing at WrestleMania, like obviously we don't expect Joe Henry to win those matches, but all these losses are I don't think that it's hurting TNA because we're seeing a huge crowd and all these eyes on it, but I think it's affecting how people are viewing TNA's stars compared to NXT's stars. And I would like to see TNA get some kind of a big win soon. I think soon is the key word.
Okay. Okay. I can agree with that. I can be in agreement of a more equal balance. I can agree with that.
Like I think that, and again, I don't have a problem with the NXT having the knockouts and the World Heavyweight Championship. But I do really believe that a win for Masha Slamovich at the pay-per-view would have elevated her higher than what it has for JC Jane. Like, I just don't think she needed that win, but I think that that win would have really elevated Masha and a lot of people's eyes as far as putting you as a face of a company and building your stock up a little higher.
Definitely so. I can't argue with that.
But I'm enjoying the ride. Like I really enjoyed what I watch. I watch a lot of the pay-per-view. I thought Mike Santana came across like a superstar. His entrance was really cool. Joe Hendry is Joe Hendry, you know what I mean? But all the guys had their working boots on. It was a great show from top to bottom. And good for TNA. I'm excited to see, what they're doing. As this show is dropping tonight, they'll be live on Access TV and Sportsnet. And I love seeing more live TNA. And I'm pretty pumped up. We had a great chat with Tom Hannafin last week, which you can catch exclusively on our YouTube page. And if you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend it because he's very candid and the future's bright. This Leon Slater, man, I love and I hate the fact that AJ was there with him because it was such a great rub. Like at first when AJ came out at this moment, I was like, shit, these guys are gonna fight at Bound for Glory. And then I was like, shit, is AJ taking away from his moment? And then AJ put him over, and I was like, no, man, AJ just like solidified this kid even higher. Like,
Hmm.
I thought it was a great way to bring AJ back, especially if he wasn't going to be physical, like to have him go back to his roots at the X division. And Mike, it is, I know you're listening. It is your turn to make the best of year end list this year. And I would really hope that we'll be seeing AJ Styles return home to TNA and make that list because I think that's a top seven moment of the year for me.
Absolutely. No, that's the house that AJ Styles built,
Yeah,
TNA.
absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. Mike and I are building the house right now too.
You're building the house?
We're building the
Oh,
house. We're building the house in Blythe or Blythe. I don't know which one it is, Ontario. It's at the Cowbell Brewery, buddy. Cowbell Championship Wrestling. It's coming at you Sunday, August the 17th. Three big shows happening throughout the day, 12 to 1, 2 to 3, and 4 to 5, I believe. What kind of a promoter am I? I don't even know my own times. But the man I'm talking to today, co-hosting, Mr. Van Landon, you are going to be a part of that show, and I'm going to do some breaking news on our show right now.
breaking news on Count It Out?
That's it. We alluded to it a couple weeks ago that there's going to be this thing called the Counted Out Cup.
Oh, okay.
So
Count It
the
Out Cup.
the Counted Out Cup is going to feature eight of the top stars in Ontario competing in four singles matches, where the winners will go on to a fatal four-way, one fall to a finish matchup. And the winner will be the distinguished holder of the prestigious Counted Out Cup. And there is an actual real trophy. Went out and I bought a trophy for this. And I'm going to let you know right now, my friend, you are going to be one of the participants in the Counted Out Cup.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah.
Got me in the tournament. Count It
Yeah.
Out Cup.
Counted
Okay.
Out Cup. And I will announce a few of the other participants in the Counted Out Cup as well.
Oh, okay. Breaking news for everybody here.
Yeah,
Dice it up. Let's hear it.
we got some big stuff here. Joining you in the Countdown Cup is going to be the monstrous Isaiah Cross, big boy.
Familiar with him? Okay, okay.
Another big boy in the Countdown Cup is going to be from Buffalo, New York, Isaiah Prince.
Oh, Battle of the
A
Isaiahs? Come
couple big
on now.
ones. Now they're not going to fight each other. I'm not going to tell you who you're working yet.
Okay, 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 okay. Pardon me, pardon me.
We're going to have making his return to professional wrestling just this weekend. Mr. Holden Albright will be in the Counted Out Cup.
What? Okay.
Holden Albright will be there. So who knows? Maybe Van and Holden isn't going to be in the morning. It's going to be at the Cowbell Brewery. Who knows?
I'm banning all in the brewery. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh.
We are going to have, in my opinion, one of the best professional wrestlers in North America in the Counted Out Cup, and that is the man they call El Diablo, Gabriel Fuerza.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah, that's a
Okay.
big one, man. That's a big one. One of the toughest and people with the biggest hearts in all of Ontario, Travis Moore, is going to be in the Counted Out
Let's go.
Cup.
Let's go. Okay, Travis, what up?
young up and comer, new to me at least. He's come from, I want to say out east, and you might be able to correct me on this one, but Draven Kayas is going to be in the Counted Out Cup,
Yes. Okay. Okay.
and the
Yeah.
last participant that will be in the Counted Out Cup, fresh off of a tour of Pro Wrestling Noah, Bryce Hanson.
Oh my goodness.
So those are
You weren't lying when you said the top stars of Ontario, eh?
top
Holy
stars of
heck.
Ontario. Top stars of Ontario. We got a top star of Buffalo, New York in there as well.
Oh
Um,
my
I
goodness.
mean, I just wanted to, it's only the best for counted out. If I'm going to put my name on something, I want to make sure that the best guys are going for it. So I wish you all the luck in the world, buddy. Because,
Okay.
yeah, and I'm not going to tell you who you're working yet. You're going to have to stick around to Count It Out 7 on Instagram and the Cowbell Brewery Instagram page for all of those announcements coming up in the next couple of weeks. And that's on top of what we've already announced between Reverso and Young Jay Lee, already signed for the card. It is going to be an amazing night, afternoon of wrestling at the Cowbell Brewery. So hopefully you guys can get there. Tickets are on sale now at eventbrite.com or whatever it is. I don't know. It's linked everywhere. Check it out at the Cowbell. Cowbell Brewery's got all the links.
3 shows. Can't wait.
Yeah, man, I'm pumped up to have you on the show. It wouldn't feel right with Counted Out promoter being responsible for promoting a wrestling show without having a day one man like yourself on there. So I'm excited for that.
It's about time. It's about time that you got the pencil.
That's it, brother. It's gone right to my head. Brand new main event is I will be in a gauntlet match with the entire roster. I will be starting at the number one position, and spoiler alert, I will be winning in a squash.
Okay,
So
okay. Sounds about right.
because I got to look strong for when I put the strap on myself later in the night, right?
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes, so that's exciting stuff, man. Other exciting stuff. Got SummerSlam coming up, brother.
Oh yeah.
How you
Biggest party of the summer.
how you feeling about the build to SummerSlam?
I'll be honest. I'll be honest. I've been tuned in and I've been tuned out
Yeah, I'm with you.
because the build for SummerSlam is not just on my weekly wrestling television. It's also now stemming across my weekly late night television as well.
Okay.
Jelly Roll, Randy Orton, Logan Paul, Drew
Yes.
McIntyre, Gunther, CM Punk, Cody, Cena. It's uh
Big
it's
matches.
it's so WrestleMania.
A lot of
You're
people
absolutely right.
a lot of people are feeling that this feels bigger than WrestleMania already.
It's huge. It's humongous.
Well, we got the big tag match that's been announced now, Roman and Jey Uso against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Like that's a big match. Dominic,
Roman.
Dominic and AJ Styles, IC title. Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu in a cage match.
Oh my gosh.
Becky Lynch and Lyra Valkyrie. No disqualification, no count out, last chance match. Punk and Gunter is going to be. It's a match that I didn't think I was ready for until I'm ready for it now.
I'm excited for that one, I'll be
hmm
honest.
I think that's the clear main event for night one, right?
And correct me if I'm wrong. They're in New Jersey for this show?
Yeah, MetLife Stadium.
MetLife. I thought it was MetLife. Yeah.
Yeah, home of the New York Giants and Jets. Home of
Ooh.
WrestleMania 29. And there's another one there too, I think. The one where Brock and Seth fought. 30 something. Becky and Charlotte and Ronda main evented.
Is that
30,
35?
35 maybe.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've hosted two manias there, so
Interesting. Okay. Um, I mean, I love SummerSlam as a concept, as a
mhm.
big obviously summer oriented uh wrestling themed show because I'm a big Bash at the Beach fan, of course.
Yeah, you and your WCW love.
Of course, I gotta make mention of it if I'm on Count It Out. And so I've always loved SummerSlam, and now that it's becoming WrestleMania Junior, I love it even more. I'm
Mhm.
all for it being 2 days. I'm all for it being extra and extravagant. The TKO partnership only makes even more sense that this is going to be capitalized in these larger scale events. I just wish uh, they would do something huge in the Sky Dome again, like a SummerSlam or a WrestleMania. No offense, Elimination Chamber, which John Cena turned heel at, which is huge. But come on, let's get a Mania, let's get a SummerSlam, let's get a Rumble. Come on.
Yeah, especially with all the renovations they've done in the dome. I was watching a bit of the Jays game today. The place is unrecognizable. It looks great. And I've always been a big hater of the dome. I'm not a big dome fan.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Even watching Elimination Chamber, that's the first time I've ever watched wrestling from the dome up in the nosebleeders. I didn't hate it. It was pretty good. I had a great seat. Thank you. Shout out to a good friend of the show, Jay, from the former Good Friends Better Enemy podcast on the Count It Out Network. He blessed me with some tickets for my wedding gift.
Oof.
Me and the wife went down. But yeah, man, I could go for a big Sky Dome pay-per-view again.
I
Even
think
though we
we've earned
just
it.
I think
Yeah.
so too. I always thought SummerSlam would be great in Toronto at BMO Field.
Ooh, because
Uh,
of the open
The
air,
open air, yeah, yeah.
that would be huge. I
We
will
got
actually, we got Rogers like stadium now, that
Rogers
giant
Stadium. That would
thing.
be cool too. I didn't even think about that. Except it's going to take you 17 hours to get in and out of there, but
Oh, yes, it will.
so I hear at least.
Hey, if they can figure the logistics of that one out, I would love to see that
That would be
happen.
cool. I never thought about that. That'd be cool. I'd also really like to go see Oasis there in a couple of weeks, but
Oh,
man,
oh.
that's like a mortgage payment to go to that.
Wishful thinking here. Yeah, apparently going to a concert in the city is a mortgage payment. You're absolutely right. I'm looking at you, Gracie Abrams.
I want to ask you about a little bit of history of Summers. Actually, no, before I get into the history of SummerSlam, we are getting a big wrestling pay-per-view coming to Toronto soon. AEW is coming to
Oh,
Toronto. You going?
AEW.
You going
I
to it?
I will not be attending this one. I have been to the previous batch. I believe one time I attended AEW in Toronto. I believe I was sitting next to some goofus named Tyler. I think
Yeah,
there's
he was
something happening.
some Mark. We're sitting
Something
beside some
happened.
Mark.
I don't know. We were singing like Judas on the camera or something together. That might have been, but who knows what
Couple
happened?
Marks marking out to Jericho. That was a fun night, eh?
Who knows what'll happen then? Yeah, just casual. And then
Remember we got the chant going of wrestling sucks for when because they were doing the sports entertainment gimmick with Jericho and they were just loving it.
yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. They uh they did the Forbidden Door.
I was at Forbidden Door. I actually sat without even realizing it, and I've never told him this, but I sat like three people down from John Husher on that show.
Interesting.
It was before I kind of I knew him, but I didn't know him at that point. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to be weird and be like, "Hey, man!" Like he was with all his friends and stuff. But
And that was an unreal show.
oh
But
yeah,
but I haven't tapped in obviously to this upcoming one. But you know me, I'm always looking to snag a ticket. So possibly,
hey, you let me
uh
know because I don't have my ticket yet either, and I'm planning on going. Maybe we
there
reunite. Maybe we reunite the AEW band.
there may be like a bottom of the ninth t style ticket
Yeah.
purchase.
So that's what I'm waiting on because they have these tickets that they always open up that are side stage that they say are partially blocked view, but they're not. And
I
they're like $50 cheaper than the section right beside it. So
Interesting.
that's what I got. That's what me and my brother did for Forbidden Door.
I think
We're
I did that for the Edge and Christian Dynamite as well that they
Yeah.
did.
Well,
Yeah.
Edge, like it's pretty much locked in that we're gonna see Edge and Christian against FTR at that show, right?
What an Edge dream match. You know
Man,
he's just making sure that one's happening. Yeah,
that's a
that
dream match for me. I'm a tag team wrestling mark.
we
I
got to see FTR there that one time
That's
too.
right. That's right. Well, I was there live when FTR and DIY did the 2 out of 3 falls as well. Like FTR got a big history in Toronto.
Toronto wrestling has had some and FT oh my God. You're not wrong. FTR's history in Toronto with the DIY match, like, and I think there's another one as well.
Yeah, they got one more good one. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Um, but you're absolutely right. If they're about to do Edge and Christian and FTR, oof,
100%. Think about
oof,
this. So what? That show's in September, right?
yeah.
This is me being the tag team mark talking right now. In September, I get FTR against Edge and Christian probably. In October, I get the Dudleys and the Hardy Boys one more time.
Oh man, that we undersold that when we reviewed
I
Slammiversary.
slipped my mind totally.
Yeah, that Hardys and Dudleys, obviously, like, man, sometimes I just hate the internet. You go on it and it's like, of course you see people trying to give that flack. How are you giving that flack? You're about to see
Man.
the Hardys and the Dudleys for the final time ever. Enjoy it while we can, folks.
Yep.
Please,
A
please.
hundred percent. Like, don't be stupid, everybody.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, let's shift back over to SummerSlam because before we get into the list here, I want to talk about some of your favorite SummerSlam matches or moments from the past. Do you have any little hidden gems that you just enjoy about SummerSlam or anything that you haven't watched that you'd like to watch on SummerSlam?
Um,
Because I got you by a few years here, kid.
you do, you
I'm
do.
I'm the old man here, so I've seen them all. I right from day one.
So, and the older ones, I'm absolutely cooked on. However, the first one that comes to my mind is SummerSlam 98.
Yeah,
Is that
Highway to
Madison
Hell.
Square Garden, Highway to Hell?
Highway to Hell, brother. Val Venus and D'Lo Brown ripped that show open with a
They
banger of a
opened that.
European title match. Yeah.
It, D'Lo and Val, yeah. And
Edge's pay-per-view debut as well.
X-Pac has one on there, doesn't he?
Jeff Jarrett hair versus hair match.
Yeah. And it's Taker Austin.
Taker Austin the main event. Yeah.
And Oddities get something there too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they get a little thing with
Kai.
Kai and Tai, yeah.
Hey, that's always my favorite part of the show,
Not bad,
man.
eh?
Yeah, it's not
Choppy
bad one
choppy.
bit.
Choppy choppy or PP Val
I
Venus.
ICP gets them rocking in MSG.
I was a big fan of the Oddies. I like the Oddies.
So I would say Highway to Hell and like that wrestling's at its peak at that
Yeah,
point. At
that's
its
that
peak at
I
that point.
I think that's the highest point of the Attitude Era was about that match for sure.
Definitely. And then doing a complete
Rock and Triple H ladder match as well was on that card.
you're absolutely right. That's the ladder match. Um, fast forwarding, an underrated one is Rock and Brock from SummerSlam.
That SummerSlam from start to finish is my one of my favorite wrestling pay-per-views of all time.
Am I wrong saying that's '02?
Oh, two, yeah.
Okay, so I'm right on that. Okay,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go.
SummerSlam 2002, I think it's one of the best WWE pay-per-views of all time.
That to me is so quintessential WWE. Like that is it
Uh-huh.
from the video packages to the graphics to the on-screen presentation to the commentary to the in-ring to the roster
Uh-huh.
to the fans to fucking everything about it. That if you had wrestling in a bubble, that is where I've I mean you could argue the Attitude Era, but I would say that is you're absolutely right. That is like peak professional wrestling at its purest.
everybody they don't realize how good that undercard was because everybody talks about Rock and Brock and Shawn Michaels' return match against Triple H, right?
Yeah,
But
oh yeah.
if you take a look at the first, I think that the first three matches on that card are Rey Mysterio against Kurt Angle in a banger. Then I think it goes Chris Jericho against Ric Flair, and then it goes Edge and Eddie Guerrero,
Ooh.
and then they go RVD and Chris Benoit. Like what an undercard. And then you've got Goldust and Booker T against the Un-Americans. Like that is one of the best pay-per-views of all time.
I love it.
Yeah.
And then SummerSlam '08, I think, is Ray's big return when he
Yeah.
comes
And
back
Triple
with
H's Silver
and Triple
Surfer.
H. Yeah, Silver
Yeah.
Surfer Ray, Triple H return. That one was a big one because '08, I'm like peak watching childhood style, summer vacation. So I'm allowed to stay up and watch wrestling at that
Mhm.
point. Um, and yeah.
You know what I remember most about that card was the random return of Stone Cold. Like
Like,
coming out with the
wasn't he
Matt
promoting the
Hardy.
Condemned at the time?
Probably. He did something with Matt Hardy and MVP, I think.
I think he was promoting the Condemned for that.
I just remember I was like, "Oh, this is badass!" Like
Yeah.
anytime that glass breaks, shit gets real.
So those
I
are some of my
I
favorites.
was always a big fan of the SummerSlam that had Brock and Punk and Dragon and Cena. I think that was
Ooh.
12 or 13, 14 maybe. I don't know
I
the year.
I think it's 13 because Punk's gone in 14,
Yeah,
so
so it'd been
Summer wouldn't be
13 then.
there.
'Cause
Yeah.
that was his last SummerSlam. But I will say, so you said the earlier SummerSlams are those are ones you haven't really touched on much, right?
Yeah,
Like,
don't even get me started on those earlier
so
ones. Yeah.
have you seen any of the classics though, like Bret and Perfect
Yeah, Brett and Perfect, yes.
and
And
Bret
in
and
fact,
Bulldog,
yeah,
right?
I steal a lot of that. Oh, that's Wembley
Wembley,
SummerSlam.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you and our listeners a couple dark horse matches from the early SummerSlams that you should check out.
Okay, okay, listeners.
I'll go
We got
for
some homework here.
I'll go for the first couple.
Okay.
The very first SummerSlam ever. The Bulldogs and the Rougeaus have a banger tag match to open the show.
To open, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds hot. Sounds hot.
One of my favorite matches of all time happens at SummerSlam 89. It's the only time that I can ever find these guys working each other. It was the Hart Foundation against the Brainbusters, Arn and Tully.
Interesting.
It,
Okay.
if you want to see how to be a heel in professional wrestling, you watch Arn and Tully during this match. They put on a clinic of how to be an amazing heel that is going to put the babyface over looking strong and still make yourselves look good at the same time. The match is absolutely incredible. SummerSlam 90, a fun little match. It's not the match of the year or anything like that, but a really fun match was Mr. Perfect against Texas Tornado for the IC title.
Shout out Carrie. Okay, okay.
And an incredible 2 out of 3 falls match between the Hart Foundation and Demolition.
Oh, Demolition getting a shout out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that was the might have been the debut of the Road Warriors in WWE or their pay-per-view debut at least. They get involved in that match. Very, very fun match, that one. So those are my dark horse early days SummerSlam recommendations. And I'll throw one more out there because I'm a tag team mark and it just popped into my head. SummerSlam 93, Steiner Brothers and Heavenly Bodies.
Oh, okay, okay.
So there it is for us. I guess I just named all tag team matches pretty much. But if you want to go through a tag team rabbit hole, SummerSlam has some incredible stuff.
All right, all right. I think I got some homework there.
Well, let's see if how your homework was this week here. I didn't give you a lot of notice. And I will tell everybody this show came together very quickly when Mike and I realized we were not going to get any time together. I threw the bat signal out to my good friend Mr. Van Landon here. I said, "Hey brother, you got any availability over the next 2 days? That's not a lot of time." He said, I can do it on Wednesday night. I said, okay, let's do Wednesday night. I put it out on the table. I said, you have anything SummerSlam wise that you want to talk about? I told you my idea. You said you liked it, but I did not give you a lot of time to prepare for it. So I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt on some stuff around here, all right?
Thank you. Thank you.
But this is going to be the top seven uh, matches that have happened at both WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Now, the criteria here, it's pretty simple. Both matches have to be really good to be on the list. And if a match left a legacy in the business or a lasting impression, then it's going to get some bonus points, right?
Okay, okay.
So without further ado, we are going to get into my number seven, and I'm just pulling up the year right now. It is going to be a combination of SummerSlam 2008 and WrestleMania 26. It's one that I didn't put on my list that I sent you. I'm throwing you for a curveball right off the loop. It
Ooh.
is John Cena versus Batista.
Oh, right.
I
Okay.
totally forgot about their SummerSlam match.
I forgot about that too. I of course remember the WrestleMania match, but now I'm remembering, yeah, it lasted all the way through.
You know, it's so funny. So, like, their SummerSlam match had no build to it at all. They literally, like, Mike Adamle just came out one day and was like, "You guys are fighting at SummerSlam," and they were both faces at the time, and there was no build to it. It was like 2 weeks out from the show, and that was on the same SummerSlam where Jericho punched Shawn Michaels' wife in the face, and
Oh, yeah.
like that whole card, right? So this was a good SummerSlam too. These guys, like when you look at their in-ring styles and the perception of them where they need like a better worker in there to kind of like make their matches better. These guys had no business having the chemistry and the matches that they have together.
I mean, yeah, you raise a good point there. They were always so solid, always, for two guys that were always questioned on their ability. No, they were always solid against each other.
Yeah, so I think it's a pretty solid number seven. It bumped off one that I might take some heat from the listeners for, but we'll see how that goes. We'll see if you give me some heat for it too. But I'm gonna roll into number six here. Number six, it's two of the best wrestlers of all time. And we're gonna go to WrestleMania 21 and SummerSlam 2004, right here in Toronto.
Oh,
Kurt Angle and Latino Heat Eddie Guerrero.
okay,
At the number
okay.
six spot, I know a lot of people are going, dude, have you lost your mind? This is a number one moment. And you're right, it is. But everything else is just so good that the best place I could fit two of the best wrestlers in the world that had two incredible matches is in my number six spot because that's how good this list is. This is how tight this list is.
I was surprised when I saw the options how diverse of a list it really is, but Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero in Toronto, no less. Were you at
I
that?
I was at that.
My goodness.
So I have not missed a pay-per-view, a WWE pay-per-view in Toronto since WrestleMania 18.
Oof,
With the
which is a tough
exception of
miss.
with the exceptions of I was at Mania 18, like starting at WrestleMania
Oh,
18.
okay, okay,
I've been
okay.
to except for like an NXT. I didn't go to the last NXT in Toronto, the Heat Wave.
Neither did I.
No, I mean I was there SmackDown and I was there for what was the pay-per-view? Money in the Bank. That was it for me. It's too much wrestling for me. I'm too old to be doing 3 nights in a row now.
It's an expensive night at the concessions, I'll tell you.
100% it is, my brother. Thank God I wasn't drinking for any of these shows.
Oof, oof.
Eddie and Kurt, though. Do you remember their WrestleMania 21 or WrestleMania 20 match? Sorry. with the finish where Kurt was going for the ankle lock and Eddie took his boot
Who
off
took the boot off? Yep. Now
and
that
did
you're
the roll through small package and just happened to hook his feet on the bottom ropes too.
absolutely.
So I rewatched Eddie and Kurt from SummerSlam today just because I needed a refresher. I had some time this afternoon after my wonderful conversation with Steve Maclin, um, and it was so good. And they played off that spot where in this match, Kurt took Eddie's boot completely off his foot. Like he worked it and took his boot off, so that couldn't happen again. And Kurt got the win on that one with the ankle lock. So.
You love to see it. Kurt Angle, one of my biggest inspirations, absolutely.
Yeah, friend of the show, Kurt Angle, of course, right?
Ooh, okay, okay.
All right, we'll move on to the number five here. Number five, this is a big one too. We're going to WrestleMania 19 and SummerSlam 2003. It is Kurt Angle once again with with Brock Lesnar this time.
All right.
Uh,
Everyone remembers that WrestleMania match. You can't not. You're thinking of the shooting star press already.
100%. But what people forget is that before the shooting star press,
Was a
these,
fantastic
oh,
match.
and Kurt was legit fighting with a broken neck.
Ugh.
Like, unbelievable. It would
And
never happen today.
and then to go to SummerSlam and run it back.
Yeah. Yeah, these
You,
guys, this is a one of those matches that just gets lost in the history of SummerSlam because
def
this was the card that had the Elimination Chamber on it with Goldberg and Jericho and
hmm
Triple H and Nash and all them. So that's what people remember about this card. But right in the middle of the card, Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar just rip into each other. It could have been, it might have been better than their Mania match, in all honesty.
I I'm gonna have to rewatch this one because I want to check it out for myself because you're right. That WrestleMania one is so influential. This one, I'm gonna have to see for myself and take another look at it and see how it ranks up.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Number four, we're gonna go back. This is my one throwback one, okay? This
Okay,
this
okay.
this one could be before your time. But there is something that you have in common with one of these shows.
Ooh, okay.
And then we're gonna tie this to a plug for you as well.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna go back to WrestleMania 10, and we're gonna go to SummerSlam 1995. Ladder matches, Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon.
Ooh,
Both of
oh,
them ladder matches. Now, you may be asking, what is Van Landen's what could he possibly have tied in to SummerSlam 95 that could possibly lead to a plug for Van Landen?
I he's
You,
even wondering.
well, that would be that this was the pay-per-view that your good friend Barry Horowitz was on as well.
Oh,
Which, if you take a look at our good friend Jonah and the R3 podcast, Van Landon and Barry Horowitz did a podcast together. And tomorrow, as this show releases, but in general, whenever you check this out, if you go over to the R3 YouTube channel, you will see Van Landon make his return in a fantastic interview, what I hear. Rave reviews from both Jonah and yourself. Both of you are very happy with this one. As Van Landen returns to R3 to talk with Colin Delaney, which I'm very excited to hear this interview.
oh yeah. Rewind, recap, relive. I'm excited to be back. Second time on the show. Barry Horowitz, round one. Colin Delaney, round two. So you guys got to go check that interview out. Shout out Jonah.
Yeah, well,
Always a
shout out
good time.
Jonah.
Always a good time.
Eh, with this tuxedo, what a mark. Nah, we love us some Jonah around here. So yeah, the iconic ladder match though from WrestleMania 10, it changed the game. I'm sure you've seen it, right? Have you watched it? You've
Oh
watched.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Now, did you know though, because a lot of people don't know that they rematched a ladder match at SummerSlam 95.
So I knew but I don't think I've seen it. I think
It,
I've only ever seen the WrestleMania one.
it's a much different matchup than the WrestleMania one. Sean has the best gear in this match. He's got like these blue, like dark blue, like tights on that I've never seen him wear them other than this match. And he looks like a fucking rock star in this
Ugh.
gear. But Razor worked Sean's leg really heavy during this match. And it's not. Some people like this match better than the WrestleMania match. I'm not one of those people. Not that it's a bad match at all. And the fact that it is number four on my list is solely because of the legacy of the WrestleMania ladder match. But this match was good, except for the botchy finish where they were trying to do like a sweet chin off the top of the ladder, and Sean got all pissy and was throwing ladders around and stuff. This, well, you take that out of the equation. These guys had another really good match. So I again put this on the list of one to check out if you haven't watched it in a while.
Okay, I think I
And
will. I think I will.
and talk about pressure too, right? Like imagine having to rematch the ladder match at WrestleMania 10.
After, yeah, you don't even know those standards that you're having to live up to now at this point.
Kind of ties into my number three a little bit though.
Number three. Okay, okay, what do we got?
Well, I mean, the ladders are involved again. A little bit of tables involved in this one. A little bit of chairs.
Oof.
A little bit of WrestleMania 16 sliding into SummerSlam 2000. Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudley Boys. Tables, ladders, and chairs. This goes WrestleMania 16, SummerSlam 2000, and WrestleMania 17. This gets the triple threat, buddy.
I mean, and rightfully so. We already put over the final match coming up soon, but these are the ones that are the reason why we're excited for the final match. Uh, all of these matches are so influential on so many levels for so many people. Uh, in some way, shape, or form, Edge, Christian, Matt, or Jeff, Bubba Ray, or Devon are someone's favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Somewhere in someone's top 10,
Yeah.
every wrestling fan, guaranteed. At least one of them. And it's because of these matches that are timeless. You are constantly showing people, new fans are constantly, discovering these matches. It's always the same factor. Yeah, these matches are wrestling history, and I'm shocked it's number three. I'm excited to see what
Yeah.
beats it.
You know what? I'm looking at my list again and I'm calling an audible on the fly. I'm putting this on my number two.
Okay,
Calling an
okay,
audible on the fly
all
because
right.
I love my number two, but just listening to you talk about that as someone, because you probably were not watching wrestling at the time these were happening. You were probably too
Not
young.
live, yeah,
Yeah,
not
you were
live.
too young to be watching at the time. If yeah, that would have been the early 2000s, right? So
I'm four in 2000.
yeah, so I'm 17 in 2000. I'm 16 and 17 years old watching these matches and losing my friggin' mind, right? Yeah, we got to put this in the number two spot. I'm calling audible on the fly. I'm
There you
call
see it, folks.
I'm calling my number one's not going to change, but I mean this could be a number one. Like this, you could flip flop my number one in this one, but we're gonna move this down to number two, which means that my
Okay,
my new number three.
okay, okay,
We're gonna go to fuck, what's the WrestleMania 24
okay.
and
Yeah,
SummerSlam. God, what's the year? We just talked. It's the same one, SummerSlam 2008, same one as Cena and Batista. And
yeah.
we're talking with Undertaker and Edge.
Oh, iconic WrestleMania matches. The first WrestleMania that I got to like stay up and watch all the way
Oh,
through.
that's a good mania.
It is, and seeing not Edge and Christian, Edge and Taker sort of cap off the night was huge. Um, I mean, what an iconic match. Shout out Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder who do a run-in that WrestleMania match.
Shout out Charles Robinson, who does a
Charles
big
Robinson who
run.
does the big sprint. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, is that SummerSlam match, is that the one that's like in like the Hell in a Cell?
That is the one in the Hell in a Cell.
Oh my God. So that's the La Familia, the Vicky Guerrero. That's all of that tied in. Yeah, that's a good choice. I I definitely see why it's number three now over
Had to swip it.
under TLC, but you're absolutely right.
It Man, people don't remember like when you talk about WrestleMania main events, Edge and Taker might be the most underratedly good WrestleMania main event of all time. I'd say that one and Cena and Michaels. Those two main events don't get talked about enough when you're talking about the best WrestleMania main events.
True, true enough.
These
Those
guys, they have such a great match, and then Hell in a Cell is just,
to top it all off.
what a way to finish it. And like I just remember Edge going through like the two tables from the top to the outside, and then getting choke
Oh
slammed
yeah.
through the ring. And yeah, these guys had a fantastic rivalry. And of course, it brings us to number one, brother.
Number one, what's it gonna be?
Okay, we're going. I lied to you. We're going old school one more time.
Oh,
We're going back to WrestleMania 10.
10.
We're gonna go to SummerSlam 94. We're talking about Bret Hart versus Owen Hart.
Brother versus brother, heart versus heart.
Man, you
That's
find
that's the choice. That's the number one. Yep.
I mean, you could argue TLC taking the number one spot too. You
Hey,
really,
hey, you
but
could, yeah, but I this is counted out with Mike and Tyler. Van Landen's a special guest. I'm rocking the Hitmans right now. Like
that's
we're
it.
doing it. We're doing it. Yeah.
You find me a better opening match in wrestling history than Bret and Owen at Mania 10, and I'll tell you, you're wrong. You know what I mean? This is one of the best matches ever. And then they have this incredible cage match at SummerSlam that's got the return of the the return of the Bulldog and Jim Neidhart involved and the whole Hart family and Stu and Helen are in the front. Oh man, these guys. Brett does the superplex off the top of the cage to Owen, and like, oh, it just.
Wrestling at its purest.
Man, this is the best, one of the best stories that the WWE's ever told is the Bret and
Ever
Owen feud.
told. Ever told. Yeah,
Yeah, I would put it in my top three.
for sure.
I think top three in no particular order for me. You got to go the Bret and Owen story. You got to go Rock and McMahon, or sorry, McMahon and Austin,
Yep.
and I would say the Bloodline.
Yeah.
I
Which is
think
ongoing still.
still
It's
on,
always going.
still absolutely.
Yeah.
So man, Bret and Owen, there was never a doubt in my mind this is going to be number one until right now, which the TLC again, man, just because of the impact they had on the business, but I'm sticking to my guns on this one. TLC will remain at number two.
Yeah. And hey, Brett and Owen, their impacts left on wrestling will forever be there as well.
Yeah. Couple hard ones to leave off of this list though.
Some honorable mentions,
Got
perhaps?
got some honorable mentions here. Really hard to leave off was Ray versus Eddie.
Okay.
Mania 21 in the Dominic Mysterio ladder match.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Really hard to leave off. The other one that was really hard to leave off was Taker and Randy Orton.
Oh, from
They did
21?
Mania 21 and then SummerSlam '05, I want to say,
Yep, I think you're right.
somewhere in there. A couple other honorable mentions. Brock and Seth. They did Mania
Okay,
35-ish. They opened the show. And then they did SummerSlam in Toronto. They had a banger in SummerSlam.
gotcha.
I got blackout drunk for that one. I don't even remember it at all. I woke up the next morning and I saw like a clip of it and I turned to my now wife at the time because she was like, "That's the drunkest in public I've ever seen you." She had to like carry me around. And I was like, Seth Rollins jumped off the top rope through a table to the outside, and I have no memory of it at all. Like nothing.
Phew. Yeah, you're telling me.
We had what's another honorable mention here? Ultimate Warrior against Macho Man. A lot of people,
Legendary.
a lot of people are going to give me heat for this. I don't like the retirement match at WrestleMania 7. It's one of my least favorite matches of all time.
Well, he doesn't stay retired, so it's sort of like
Well, you know what
null and void.
you know what it is for me though. I don't know. Have you ever watched that match from start to finish, the
Not
retirement
start to
match?
finish.
So
Not start to finish.
there's a spot in the match that there's two spots in the match that drives me nuts. Like there's one spot where it looks like the Warriors got the match won, and then like he starts talking to his hands like they're the gods that are like, and he's like just starts leaving the ring, and like he was just gonna like get a count out. Like the gods were telling him that you need to leave wrestling, and I was like, well, this is dumb. But then Savage lays Warrior out and hits like five Macho Man elbow drops in a row. And then Warrior kicks out and beats him. And I'm just like, this is the worst thing I've ever watched in my, it ruins the whole match for me.
It's a little strange, I'll be
And then
honest.
their SummerSlam match was at Wembley Stadium, and like the match itself was fine, but they did this terrible build to it where Ric Flair and Mr. Perfect were Mr. Perfect was offering his managerial service to the highest bidder between these two. And he was like trying to make them paranoid against each other. Like he would just like come out and watch one of their matches or just cut promos. So both guys thought that the other guy was like paying Mr. Perfect to help them, but really none of them were because they were baby faces. And then it was like it was an awkward build. So that one wasn't making the cut for me, boys. I'm sorry. I'll take the heat from whoever's got a problem with it, but I'll die on that hill that will never make any of my lists.
Okay, there you have it, folks.
Strong words from me on this one, brother. Uh,
She
Brock and Roman, they had a couple Mania matches. They had that crazy SummerSlam match with the forklift. It wasn't my favorite.
forklift.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not for me either. And then one that had stood no chance of making the list was Taker versus Kane. I forgot that they even had
Ooh,
they had a SummerSlam match in 2000. That was terrible.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick by my list.
Hey, I can agree with that list. I'll be honest. I came in thinking, what's he got for me? But that's a solid list.
Not too bad at all. You were great jumping on and helping us out today. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you having me.
What do you say? You got anything you want to plug? You got anything you want to talk about before we start bringing this bad boy home?
Follow me everywhere at the Van Landon, folks. That's the best way to support me. Patreon.com/, the Van Landon. See things that I don't show any other people. That's
Hell
all.
yeah. Hell
That's
yeah.
all.
Check out Van and Holden in the morning.
Yes.
Check out Van at Cowbell Championship Wrestling as he tries to capture the Counted Out Cup.
Man, you stacked that deck hard against me, but
Yeah, good
yeah,
luck, brother.
Cowbell Championship Wrestling.
That's it. I'm excited for it. I'm happy to have you on board, and it was great having you on Counted Out, man. It's always great having you on Counted Out. I think what, this four or five for you now coming on here?
Someday we'll keep track of these
You
things.
you might be in the you might have just joined our club of the most appearances on Counted Out. It's a very unique club.
Hey,
It's
I'm I
four is the record.
there we have it. There we
Bron
have it.
Bronwyn Billington is in the four club. Is she in the four club? Pretty Ricky is in the four club. And I believe you're joining the club now as well. I'll have to go back to the archives and take a look, but
Good company.
yeah, that's a good group of people. Well, Mike is not here, so I will do his part. Everybody like and subscribe. Count it out on YouTube at Count It Out 7. Instagram, I don't know, all the stuff that I don't understand, TikTok and all that stuff. Old man yelling at cloud. We got it all. I put reels up on Instagram and I put them on TikTok. So like it and support us and spread the word. And on that note, on behalf of the Barnburner of Van Landon, I am Tyler, aka TCO in the world of Barry Wrestling, and you have all been counted out. Cheers.